And again, people are jealous. People don't know me and G Rappers close, but people know about me and Cacto. Because we be in public and shit like that. Like, and you see him, you see me, you see me, you see him. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm out, Cap is in the area somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And because when he's here, we working, or we going somewhere to eat, or we shopping for clothes and jewelry. That's what we do. And let me tell you, like me and Cap got so close. And let me tell you, a lot of people don't know how good of a heart Cap has. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't like him because he's misunderstood. A lot of people don't understand him, and because they lack understanding, it turns to dislike. So let me explain to you how me and Cap got real close. So before I moved to LA, me and Cap was always, he comes to my house in Queens. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll pull up. He was really pulling up then because I was close. So he'll pull up. I'm outside. I'm like, you outside? I'm like, yeah, I'm outside. I'm in bed because my son kept me up all night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, God, I'm coming. Or I just or I just sent them to my baby mother. They took him and they gone and I could finally rest or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yo, God, I'm outside. I'm like, God damn it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't complain. So I come outside or he'll come in the house or whatever. I want to go get something to eat, and then we go get something to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the mission. So, Cat knows that me and my physical brother really did not get along. Like, my nephew lived with me, my brother and his girlfriend. I didn't get along with them at all. Okay. And he saw how they used to try to disrespect me and shit like that. He saw that. You know what I'm saying? But, and then, this is Cap coming in, we're bonding. So, in the process of me managing him, we're getting to know each other, in other words. So, he's seen that. And he used to talk to me about it. I'd be like, oh, I'll talk about it. And he just sit there and listen, and I talk to him about my family. You know what I mean? Um, Cap was there a lot of, a few times, like when things was going on with me. You know what I'm saying? Like when my aunt passed, he was there. You know what I'm saying? We was about to get on a plane, in fact, and I heard that she had passed. So we didn't get on the plane. We rented a car and we went to her house. And so I could see my family. And Cap waited outside. He's like, go in, go see your family, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I went in there and was sitting with them. It's taking like, yo, take your time. Take as long as you need it. You know what I mean? Because we had a show in Boston, but we didn't go. So we did that. So I spent time with my family and shit on my mother's side, my mother's sister. And after that, we shot to the airport and we jumped on the plane and went to Boston next day. Just, for him to do something like that, that was like, real cool. Because he let me deal with it. He let me deal with my grieving. He let me deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And he met my family, that side of my family, my cousins. So like they came outside and met up. You know what I'm saying? He'll be cool about it. You know, um, he's just a cool dude. Another thing too, um, his mom will call me. She, Cap needs this, and this, or he got arrested. One time he got caught up in a suite at Staten Island, and she wanted to go bail him out or whatever. So I was like, all right, mom, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? So I had to hot foot it all the way to Staten Island, and I was talking to her about it. And as we talking, as we, as me and his mom is discussing it, Cap gets released somehow, and he comes to the house. So that's how that ended. We didn't, I didn't have to go to the precinct, which was cool. Um, and then, his mom was like my mom. His mom was like my mom, you know what I'm saying? And she passed away a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? She was, you know, we would sit anytime I go by the house, go by her apartment and shit, you know what I'm saying? We would sit there and listen to old records and she'd pull out her old records. She'd be like, I bet you don't know about this one, son. And she'd play, all the oldies and shit. And we would talk. But yeah, man, she was a beautiful woman. Um, and I'm leading up to something. So Cat knew my mom had passed. And I was, you know, so I guess he felt I was, getting close with his mom because I was missing my mom, which is true. I never told him this though, but I guess he saw it. You know what I'm saying? So I was, me and Miss Hill, Miss Linda Hill, peace be upon her. Um, Shout out to her family. Um, like I would talk to her about everything. I would talk to her about my girlfriend. I would talk to her about, what's going on in my house. You know what I'm saying? And she would give me advice or, you know what I'm saying? So one, and by the, I guess we grew to, what I'm saying? We got close. So, time went by. I moved to LA, right? So I'm in LA. I told mom, I was like, yo, I'm finally here. You know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, you are. I'm like, yeah, and she wanted me to make sure I called her for once I got in there and all that. So I got there, let her know. And, um, Mother's Day was rolling around, right? Cat calls me. He says, yo, I need you to go pick mama up from the airport. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, mama is coming out there. She's there. And I need you to go pick her up from the airport. I was like, holy shit. She's at the airport now. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. So I go pick her up from the airport. I was shocked. I thought he was bullshit. I thought it was him. I was at the airport. He was bullshit. But nah, it was really mom. You know what I'm saying? So I picked her up and we take her back to the crib. So we like, what are you doing here? She's like, I came out to spend Mother's Day with you. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, because I know, you're missing your mom and Kat told me about it. So we decided, to surprise you, not coming to spend Mother's Day with you. I was like, who does that?
Wow.
Who does that? But I'm fake though. I'm fake. I'm fake. I'm a devil. I'm so much a devil that this man sends his mother to spend time Mother's Day with me. He ain't even been to LA to my crib yet. He sends his mother first. He ain't been here yet at that time. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to be like, yo, I ain't like that. Yo, go ask the people, man. Go ask Planet Asia. Go ask Tragedy Gaddafi. Go ask Capone. Ask them about me. Go to the law school and ask the guards about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga, this dude, and I don't mean to go back to spoil what I'm talking about, but I just want to make a point. This brother never been to the law school, never been to a parliament, never been to a rally, never been to a cipher, nothing of the gods and herbs. Nothing. He never donated nothing. He never sent nothing there for the kids. Nothing. But I'm a devil. I'm a fake 5%er. I'm so fake, right? I'm such a fake 5%er. Let me tell you something about me. That I put the first flat screen computer in the computer room at the law school. I came there with computer monitors and towers and mouse, all kinds of printers, and donated, gave it to my Uncle Lobby. I said, here, put that in the computer room for the kids. I'm fake. Where these niggas at, man? Let me tell you another thing. So I was teaching my nephew, right? He was working at Home Depot. He was like, yo, God, I want to take some supplies up to the school so for repairs and everything. I was like, when you want to do it? He was like, I'm getting off of work. I'm gonna come by and we're gonna go. He had the big giant drums of paint, 2x3s, like a bunch of 2x3s, brushes, rollers, the sticks, the whole shit. And, yo, we had mass supplies. We dropped it off at the law school, yo. I went. They was having a parliament that day. In fact, it was a Sunday. I went into Harriet Tubman. I saw my uncle. I was like, "Unc, you got some stuff at the school." You know what I'm saying? We ran to the school. We had all these supplies there. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, "Yeah, take all this." Donated it to the school, bro. He's like, "You gonna come into the parliament?" I was like, "Nah, we good." Why? For what? You're gonna take up space when somebody else could go in there. We ain't here for recognition. We just doing this because it needs to be done. Fakeness, right? I inspired my nephew so much that he did something like that with the teachings. I'm fake. I'm a black devil. So I took her to a hotel. I was like, Mom, you can stay with us. She was like, No, I don't want to get in your way. She was a very independent woman, man. And I didn't want to argue with her because she started arguing. She started cussing. That's the end of that shit. So I was like, whatever you want. You're the queen, whatever you want. So we put her in a hotel. And I told Cap, I called Cap. I was like, yo, that was a neat trick you did, yo. And I was thanking him. He was laughing. He was like, yo, anything for you, bro. You know what I mean? And so, you don't have to say, I love you. Your ways and actions speak louder. You know what I mean? That was love, bro. Now, understand, he grew up with ghosts and random niggas. He told me this. I've never done nothing like that for them. And I grew up with them. So why should I stab my brother in the back? Why should I steal from him? And he's doing things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, needless to say, we had a great time. Yo, Panda, me, you know, and Cap's mother, we had so much fun that weekend, right? We ran out of gas, yo. I wasn't even thinking about the gas tank, G. We driving, laughing, having a good time, right? And she telling me stories about when Cat was growing up and all that, and we laughing, jumping out the car. She's going shopping. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting her shop wherever she want to go. And we talking da 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 da. And the car is like, I was like, yo, what the fuck happened? And I'm thinking the battery died or something. So I called my man. My man come all the way out there. And he's like, yo, you ain't got no gas in your tank. I said, oh, shit. I completely did not see the gas tank, G. We were just enjoying ourselves. We were eating, going to different spots to eat, mall, and we just had a good time, yo. And she said to me, my man went to go get gas. He was coming back. And she says, son, I'm not going to tell Cap we ran out of gas. I was like, you can tell him. I don't care because we was having a good time. I said, man, I'll call him right now. And I called him. I was like, yo. And before I called him, I said, yeah, you know what else? I said, you ain't going to tell him now. I said, I ain't going to tell him you was still smoking cigarettes. She said, oh, no, don't tell him I'm smoking cigarettes. I said, I ain't going to tell him. I ain't going to tell him. And I called Cap. And I was like, yo, we was having so much fun, G. We completely ran out of gas, yo. He was like, get out of here. I was like, yeah, we ran out of gas, man. You know what I'm saying? We were just laughing and giggling and talking. And she was telling me stories about when he was little and all that shit. And we just ran out of gas. And see, I'm just saying, for her to do something like that, for me, you know what I mean? To experience, like, that was my mom. She was my mom for that weekend. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Who does that, son? That's real, bro. And I know Cat's gonna see this, and they don't even know nothing about this, yo. They don't know what it is with me and Don. They don't know. They think they do. You know what I'm saying? And we fight. We get mad at each other. We brothers. We get mad and say shit. But our bond is so strong. I'm gonna kick something so fucking real to you. Yo. Me and Kat had a falling out last year, right? We had an argument. Well, he was arguing with me. I wasn't arguing. I really didn't understand what his argument was about, but he was mad. You know, I don't really go back and forth. And he's saying what he's saying. So I didn't really say much. But when he said fuck off, I was like, yo, that's it right there. That's it. Because to me, fuck off is a final. That's a final thing. You know what I mean? So once he said that in the text, I was like, all right, say less. I'm going to fuck off. So I didn't say no. I didn't speak to Cap for a whole year. A whole year. A whole year. I blocked him and all that. Till now, I've done lives and interviews in that time, and I spoke about my brother, and I have never, ever, ever disrespected him. I have never, ever, ever told people that we're not talking. I've not done anything that nigga shit that people do. What goes on with me and him is our business, and it remains our business. Now, Wu-Tang had the final chamber tour. Okay. And Mathematics calls me and says, yo, you want to come out? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll come out. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, I got you. So right after that call, Cap calls me, but it was his man Amar. It was his number that popped up on my phone. So I'm like, why Amar calling me? So I answer the phone. It was Cap. He's like, yo, peace. I was like, yo, peace. What's good? You all right? He's like, yeah, I'm right. I was just calling to see if you want to come out because of the show and shit. I was like, oh, sure. Yeah, I'll definitely come out. By that time, my album was out and everything. You know what I mean? So he calls me and actually come out. Now, this is not about pride. It is nothing about that. Because if Math told me to come out, I know I'm going to see him. What do you think? I'm going to turn my back on him and act like I don't know him? I don't do shit like that. We had plenty of fights where disagreements where we are angry at each other, but at the end of the day, it's always peace all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go to the fucking show and see him and act like I don't know him. That's some sucker shit. That's some usury shit. That means the whole time you was fucking with him, you just using him. I don't move like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but he called me and we spoke, you know what I'm saying? It was no need to say, yo, I'm sorry. Or I apologize. There's no need for that. We're brothers. You know what I'm saying? So he asked me to come out, and I came out on him. You know what I'm saying? I did see Math. When I saw Math, I gave him the greeting. Thank you. You know what I mean? But Cap is the one that had me backstage and all that shit. So, um, I spent, y'all see the pictures, you know what I'm saying, with me and him backstage and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? We didn't get a chance to have a build about it, about the disagreement. To this day, we haven't had a build about it. I plan to, you know what I'm saying? But, I ain't worried about it because love conquers all. For real. You know what I'm saying? Now, um, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make that point that, you know what I'm saying? And then when his mom passed, I was just thrown. And, like for those who know, um, when I dropped the Circle of Iron, I did a dedication to her in the credits of the album. Her picture's there, you know what I'm saying? So when I seen Cap didn't see the album really, you know what I'm saying? So I gave him his copy because he's on the album. I gave Deck a copy, he's on the album. When he opened it up and he saw his mother, he lost it. He was just sitting there shaking his head like, you know what I mean? That's us. See, devils don't move like that. Snakes don't move like that.
That's what you call real shit right there. Even though that you guys weren't on good terms, that you still kept it real like that.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Word. You know what I mean? And I told him, I said, niggas is gunning for my position. You know what I'm saying? We always know that. We always laughed at that shit. You know what I mean? But, my bro, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? He does shit I don't understand sometimes. I get on his nerves too. You know what I mean? But, yo, at the end of the day, man, you know what I'm saying? Word. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's it. So, how did I meet M80? I met M80. First, I bet I'm gonna run this.
Wait. Unless you want to go into the Immortal Technique question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What was it?
Why his verse didn't make the album?
Oh, because okay. First of all, shout out to Immortal Technique. That's my man. Me and him go back a ways. Him and Poison Pen. Shout out to Poison Pen. Um, it took me 2 years to get Immortal Technique in the studio here. 2 years. Okay. I sent him the beat, right? In fact, it was the same beat that Fuji Rap is rapping to now on my album. So I sent him the beat, and took him forever to to come out. Well, he was supposed to send me the verse, but he ended up coming out here because we had a show, and I was like, "Yo, you want to come through and lay?" He's like, "All right, good." So I'm thinking, he had the fucking beat for the longest time. So I'm thinking he already had his verse together. You know what I mean? Come to think, he come all the way here. I'm like, yo, you need anything? He's like, yeah, I want to have this. So I had shit set up, laid out for him, eat whatever, drink whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even comfortable. He get here, he didn't even have nothing ready. So he's like, yo, so I'm here with my people. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I need to sit here by myself and put this verse together. I'm like, all right, man. So that means we got to leave the studio. He's like, yeah. So we walk out of the studio and let him sit in there and write the verse. So time went by. He was like, yeah, I'm ready. So my engineers here set him up, get on the mic, drop his verse. he's dropping his verse, and it wasn't like the part to his liking. He didn't like what he did, and after try after try after try. Now, mind you, Poison Pen is also here sitting on the couch, knocked out. You know what I mean? And it was late. He didn't like what he did, so he tells me, he's like, "Yo, give me 2 weeks, and I'll have a verse for you." So I'm like, "All right, bet." I never got that verse, so that was it. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, my hard feelings. You know what I mean? That's it. I haven't seen. I've seen Tech since then. He was. I see him. He was with Chino XL. He used to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? I knew Chino too. Um, dang, he was like, "Yo, you know what I'm saying? You gotta let me get some time, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "All right, man." It seemed a little aggravated and shit, but I guess that's his persona. I don't know. I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, "All right, cool." You know what I'm saying? I was talking with Chino for a little minute. You know what I mean? And then I did. Because I don't really I don't really do the show thing because that's where you make your money. It's like, that's your job. So I'm gonna come up to your job and watch you flip burgers and shit, getting money, and I'm not getting no money. I'm not gonna waste my time sitting up there just to stand there and watch you. You know what I mean? Sometimes, depending on who it is, I may come and because I want to be entertained, I want to see the show. You know what I mean? And it's one of my favorite artists, favorite songs, or whatever. Yeah, I'll check that out. But as far as me just going, I gotta go because nah. You know what I'm saying? But even with Kappa and Wu. I don't go to all they shows. Ask Cap, he'll tell you. He'll ask me about, and I'll be like, "Nah, dog, I'm good. You at work. I'm not gonna come to your job and watch you work, get money, unless you need me for something." You know what I mean? And I don't go. I don't go to the shows. People tell you I don't really pop out like that. For what?
So you and Tech are good though, because in the past I saw you say in an interview you seemed a little irritated a little bit because of him saying that he's coming out with a song that was similarly named, and he said you may not want to drop that or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, right, right. He was like, I told him the name of the song that I wanted to call it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna use the same name, and you might not use." I was like, and I was like, you know what? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about it because I got G Rap on the song. I can call it dog shit. It's gonna be dope because G Rap is on the song. So it
Right.
didn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter to me. So, you know, um, I'm good. I was good on that. Yeah, it was bothersome because how you gonna tell me that I can't name it what I want to name it, and you didn't even come with your verse like you said you would. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit like that. That's kind of goofy to me. You were supposed to come with your verse. You didn't. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 12 weeks went by. I still didn't get the verse, but yet you're telling me, "Yo, don't name it that." So
Does like it go back to kind of like how being a person of your word, like that stuff kind of bothers you?
yeah, I mean, it's not, and I'm not angry at Tech. I'm not
Right.
even. No, I'm not. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And Tech has showed me a lot of love. He has never disrespected me. And I don't plan on disrespecting him. And this is not a disrespect to him. It's just this is what happened. Um, so like, you know, I waited to see, what he was gonna do when he dropped the song with the title and all that. I waited, I gave him a grace period, you know what I mean? And I knew the album wasn't coming out right then anyway. So it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nothing changed while I saw it. So I still named it what I wanted to name it. You know what I mean? So That's that.
Yeah. Shout out to Tech, man. He's amazing. Amazing artist.
Yeah, yeah, that's my bro. You know what I'm saying? When I was shooting my DVD called True Grind, right? When I was shooting my DVD, he was a major part of um of that project. You know what I'm saying? He was a major part of that project. Like he gave me an interview, um, a nice lengthy interview too. And you know, there was a show that he was having, you know what I'm saying, he set it up so I can get in and all that, have me on the guest list. Tech has always showed, you know, always been peace with me. You know what I'm saying? Um, other than that, you know, it's nothing.
Yeah, sometimes I think life just happens, you know. So I don't think like it's personal by any means.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, not at all. You know what I'm saying? I respect the brother. He's done a lot. And he, you know, he's 10 toes, boots on the ground too. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? He goes overseas in South America and he's built schools and hospitals. That guy right there, you know what I'm saying? You know, you cannot say a foul word about Tech, you know, because you know, he makes it happen. You know what I'm saying?